Good morning. Welcome to Tiz Shiz Talking Shop. Some say the worst, some say the greatest podcast ever. We'll leave it up to you.
For the people that see me always in a hoodie,
Yeah.
allow me to explain this. It's not a fashion statement. It's not if you happen to see the videos that we post or when we go on YouTube, I wear a hoodie all the time. I'll tell you why. I live in Florida.
You're cold?
It's always hot outside, which means my house, though, is freezing. It's constantly freezing.
Well, once you got to 7% body fat, you didn't have much to keep you warm anymore. So you're just always adorning a hoodie.
Just looking at you going, God, it's freezing in this arena. And you go, I mean, it's just really not. You lost.
I'm sweating. I don't know what's wrong with you.
In Japan, I just lived hungover for 8 years in Japan and just so I was constantly running hot. Now I somewhat understand. Welcome to the show. Happy Sunday to everybody. We're going to answer a ton of emails. I mean, we got a lot.
It's Sunday fun day. It's my birthday. It's my anniversary. It's a great day. I'm in Key West. I'm really not. I'm talking about the future. That'll be what happens on Sunday. Today's
again now. So do you wake up in the morning? Do you say happy anniversary, or do you wake up and go, hey, it's my happy birthday to me? Have a happy anniversary.
I think I wake up, I say happy anniversary, happy birthday to me. It's been my birthday for longer. Both are great. Let's head on over to Bottomless Brunch at Dante's. I already looked it up. Here we go.
See, now I'm glad that I don't drink anymore. I've lived that life. I had way too much fun, a lot of fun. But when you say that, it doesn't make me go, boy, I really want to go drink again. But what that takes me to is, I just know that if you have no responsibilities for a day or that day, I mean, that just sounds like the funnest day for us.
Well, in saying that, I'll tell you this, like I'm getting in shape for it all week. And really it's a walk from the resort, and then we're going to have the baby. So like, how long are we going to stay? An hour?
Yeah, no,
I'll have a little shrimp omelet and maybe a couple of weekend mimosas, and then, stroll back. It's not like it's going to be back in the day where I just go to Bottomless Brunch and go, what do you mean Bottomless Brunch is over? Well, switch me to the regular menu. Let's have some fun here.
Yeah, the baby's getting a little tired and crying, and
so it's
you might be in a good,
it's wishful drinking,
You might be in a good spot with the baby's age at this point, though, because our baby now is 11 months, 12 months. So he's over a year, and he's running around. He likes to run around. And I mean, the amount of, what do you say when you have to engage, like things you have to throw at him, like to keep him sitting. A, it ain't happening. But B, if you want to get 20, 30 minutes in, you got to keep him engaged with a little bit. And even then it's like, just go ahead and accept your fate of chasing him around the restaurant. And you're the one looking at people in the restaurant going, hi, hi, say hi. Look at little baby. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Yeah.
Don't be pissed off. And then he's 7 months. He's not walking yet, but you do have to keep entertaining. He's a good baby though. He's fun. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward.
All babies are good. I like when you I like how you put that in, that positivity.
Well, I don't want you telling everyone babies are bad. They're bad people just because they're babies.
Well, that baby back there keeps crying. What a piece of shit.
That's a shitty baby you got back there in 32C, just crying his ass.
Yeah. What an awful, horrible baby. How old's that baby? Well, he's only 5 months. Oh God, I wish you'd shut up.
We've said that for years, though. We're not the guys on the plane who go, geez, another crying baby. Sure, you don't want to hear a crying baby, but you feel terrible for the person, the parent or guardian trying to control said angry baby.
Like, trust me, we need to talk about that. I know people that's like a number one pet peeve. Like, babies shouldn't be allowed on planes.
Babies shouldn't be allowed on planes. Okay, well, what are you supposed to do? Leave your baby at home? What do you want?
And do you really think that person's going, I get to fly to New Jersey this week?
Oh, good.
God, I just can't wait to take the 7-month-old on the plane through the stroller. He's gonna love that. And especially when he starts just screaming and crying on the plane. That's going to be the most fun part.
And it's actually a lot worse for people because most people, a business traveler isn't really showing up with a baby. Most people showing up with a baby are going to see family or going on a vacation or going to a destination holiday at another family member's place, whatever. But they're not regular weekly travelers like us. They're novice travelers. So the airport in itself is intimidating. And then on top of that, you got the little fella there who's not going to make it any easier on you. So give those people, here's some good brotherly holiday advice. Give those people some grace as you travel this holiday season because they're in hell. They love that baby, but they're in hell.
Now, again, if they're married or if they're single, if they're a single mom traveling, that's hell. And if they're married, you never know if they're getting along on the flight.
Yeah, if they're a single mom traveling with a baby, and you're a single man, maybe help out a little. You never know what and you might be taking care of that baby forever. Who knows?
Listen, if it's a single mom traveling, she's miserable. If it's a married mom traveling, she's also miserable. Would you help her out?
There you go. For whether you have an ulterior motive or not, just be kind. It's the holidays.
For that day, be a single dad and help, would you?
Maybe plop down next to her. I don't know. Don't listen.
Let me help that little baby there.
Let me help you with that little baby. You know what? Never mind. I'm going back to my seat.
Happy Sunday, guys. Listen, just really learn to love the fact that the Good Brothers are talking about stuff like this, okay? Because as soon as we start, just enjoy our Bitcoin talk, enjoy our financial talk, enjoy our bull crapping about our families and fitness talk, because I promise we're going to be on the radio forever. And we're going to be talking wrestling forever. And as soon as we start talking wrestling, I'm going to start stating, because we have to be honest, we're going to start stating opinions. And that means we're drawing a line in the sand. And then everybody's going to go, oh, Karl is being a dick again. Oh. Then there's going to be people that agree with me and go, oh, I love Karl. Then there's going to be the other 50% that go, Karl's being a dick.
Don't give the people in the middle a sense of foreboding. We have the whole future to worry about that.
That's what I'm saying is just enjoy this right now. Okay. Until we flip the switch. All right. Guys, Talking Shop, TALKNSHOP, goodbrothers@gmail.com. We got a ton of emails. I mean, I hope we can get to them all. We can't. Okay, I'm going to be honest. We can't.
We said this last night. I was sitting there eating dinner, and I'm cutting you off Talking Shop style. Sorry, but literally, perfect. I said, I know we have at least 20, but we'll have more by tomorrow. And Bethany looked at me and said, that means you two will get through it 3. And I went, you want us to podcast for 4 hours? I don't know.
Listen, stop coming with truths, Bethany.
Yeah, come on.
All right, Talking Shop, goodbrothers@gmail.com. We're not going to be able to get to all these emails, but we're going to get to it. But the team has sent me over a bunch, okay? Allow me. So before we start this, I need to say, last week I read an email, or Thursday I read an email. And I didn't understand the email talking about Juicy Lukey. And I just couldn't understand it because my brain is just in such a different area. And then I started to reread the email off the air.
Yeah.
More and more, trying to figure it out, because the email was just way too well thought out and written for that to be a misspelling or a misquote.
You really let it bother you, huh?
And I'm thinking, I just don't understand this. And then, boy, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
And you text me and you go, I can't believe that we didn't get this. And I said,
I got it.
Well, I got it. I just, you were really firing lefts and rights off.
Juicy Lukey was amazing. And then, of course, the thought of Juicy Lukey popping out hot dogs was
just eating hot dogs. Just having a few hot dogs. Just having his morning hot dogs.
just fire them back up.
Just smashing hot dogs. You're gonna have some hot dogs at Bottomless Branch. Are you gonna have some hot dogs when you get a little hungry because you got a little business? You're gonna have some hot dogs.
We used to fly to Japan. I'd look over midway through and Gallows just scarfing down hot dogs.
Yes, somehow he brought him on the plane with him. Hey, Davy Boy Smith Jr., Harry Smith used to do that. He'd go, oh, you can't be eating those little Delta meals. And then I'd see Harry, who is a giant of a man. And I mean, he would just be loading 12 to 15 McDoubles into his little satchel.
Yeah.
Pulling them out the whole plane.
That was a me and Harry thing. We got to where we'd fly we'd fly back and forth so often to Japan that the literal smell, and I wasn't getting first class flights during this time. I was sitting in the business. Yeah. You're sitting in coach every other 2 weeks, flying 15 hours for 8 years.
Everybody loves the guy that 8 hours in the middle of coach just whips out a 9-hour-old cheeseburger and starts
cold
down on it.
The smell
out of its computer bag.
The smell of the coach Delta food started to physically make from 2008 to 2015. What do you think, man? I started losing my mind. I mean, I would dress too hot. I would weep. I couldn't eat the food. I used to have to bring on 4 or 5 McDoubles and eat them. And the funny thing is, when I realized McDonald's was terrible for you, it was on wake up 10 hours into the flight, reach down, open the McDouble, smell it.
McDouble's fine.
Smell it, and boy, that thing smells perfect. Take a bite, and it's better colder.
Yeah, it could have been a month old. No problem.
Yeah,
no
fridge,
problem. Nothing.
No problem. Talking shop, goodbrothers@gmail.com. The subject is wrestling names. Justin Cooper. How we doing, good brothers? Johnson City, Tennessee, right in again.
The home of Ricky Morton.
That's a East Tennessee State
brother town.
East Tennessee State University.
All right.
First, correcting an email I heard on the pod a week or two ago. Oh, you're telling a correction.
Oh, we don't like corrections, so let's go ahead and put that in the delete file.
It wasn't the big LG that fell through the floor.
Oh, perfect. See?
They're referring to the story Brother Ferg told on an episode of WWE Ride Along about being in Japan. He's either asleep or trying to fall asleep, and next thing he knows, the machine gun falls
Oh, the dojo, right? You fell through the dojo ceiling?
Through the ceiling.
Yeah.
And Ferg proceeds to call Karl an effing hillbilly.
Okay, well, that's a good correction. I take back my initial thought on that.
We were confused on that. Anywho, so before we continue that, allow me to just give quick context to that. We're referring to
Los Angeles, right?
The Los Angeles dojo in Santa Monica, California in the year 2006.
The year of our Lord, 2006.
Listen, we're all single men. We're out. I was a 26-year-old. I was a 26-year-old brother. Just men.
Where's this headed?
Just broke men. We were very broke.
We broken.
We went out. We had a couple of drinks. We went up. I went to go upstairs to where the dojo was, and I was not familiar with the sleeping arrangement in the Santa Monica dojo.
Who would be?
Uncle Ferg made us some tea downstairs. His hot tea. He likes to have hot tea before he goes.
A nice chamomile tea before bed with some lavender scents.
You go up the ladder. We all slept in this same open room and a roof. In like a loft type roof thing in the Santa Monica.
So there's a roof over it, to clarify. You're just the attic loft, right?
There's an attic loft on the right.
Gotcha.
And right above the left over there would be drop ceiling. That you weren't supposed to go that way.
Well,
in the bottom where the locker room was, where you hang out and drink tea, is where
Uncle Karl didn't know which way he was going after a couple of sneefters.
Uncle Karl walked up, took a left instead of a right, and went right through the drop ceiling.
Oh, Sheboygan.
fell just missed Uncle Fergie. I sold it, dusted myself off, took myself back up the ladder, and went to bed.
Come on, you effing hillbilly.
Anywho, on to the point of this email. I've always been curious when it comes to ring names. On the pod, you'll weave the names Chad, Ferg, and Drew in as much as Karl, Finn, and Dox.
Yes.
Do ring names become like nicknames? I think about the late, great John Huber. Boy, that is weird. And everyone calling him Brody from the independent scene. When the cameras aren't rolling and get to TV one day, do you say, hey, Roman, or hey, Joe? Or would you have the contact saved in your phone as Seth Rollins or Colby Lopez? Appreciate feeding the curiosity. Too sweet me. So if you notice, I started not being able to read very well there just for a second. Let me explain why. That really tripped me out. I swear to God, that just gave me chills because as I was doing my cold tub just 15 minutes ago,
that's why you have that sweatshirt on. You're freezing your ass off.
Yeah, I feel amazed. I'm wide awake. So, the team did send. Listen, okay. I did not pre-read this email at all. I just opened this up and just popped this open now.
Yep.
As I was in the cold tub, I'm in there just thinking in the cold tub. This is trippy.
All right.
And I said, I said, as I was thinking, I did the cold tub for 5 minutes, and I was thinking about Harper, Brody Lee.
Oh man, yeah.
But even weirder to this email. So now maybe I am a ghost, or what you call it, a spiritual person. I don't know.
Philosopher. Okay.
This just tripped me out because I'm in the cold tub. I had no music on, no Bitcoin talk, just the time to look at him, staring at the time for 5 minutes, doing the cold tub, breathing in, breathing out. I start to think about Brody Lee, Luke Harper, and I said, I wonder if anybody understood that when he passed away, that was at a weird time in my life. Like we'd left WWE, and then I lost, he was my buddy, and then he died, and it was weird. And I go, I wondered, how do I know him better? Do I know him better as Harper or Brody? But I didn't really know him really great as Brody. I would mostly I would call him Harper. But why would I have that conversation with myself just 10 minutes ago and come inside and read this email?
That's wild, man. That's wild. That is trippy.
That's why I couldn't read the last of them. I'm just going, that's weird.
No, that
is weird.
That is weird. I have this is weird too. Jeez. Because you've seen the layout of my house. In my master bathroom, I have like a little toilet closet, and in there's nothing in there except a toilet and a window that sometimes I open to do things. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I don't have one thing in there. But on the back of my little shelf, I have a Wyndham card from his memorial service.
Yes.
So it's like every time I go in there, and not because it's in my toilet closet, but I didn't put the thing anywhere, and I left it there, and now I don't want to move it. So I see him daily, and I think about him, and every time we podcast behind you, I can see that picture of the three of us in Las Vegas, and mine is right to the right of where I'm sitting to podcast. So it's trippy. We see and think about those guys almost every day.
Yeah, it's that was a wild email
especially since you already ran that through in your head this morning,
and especially to that. And why was I thinking about the name? Very trippy. That was very trippy.
It is. What do you want to answer the question?
So but with that said, I got to know him. Boy, that's weird. It's so trippy. Sorry, it's still trippy. I got to know him really, really well. I knew who he was of him, but I got to know him really well as Luke Harper. And so I always referred to him as Harper.
We called him Harper for sure. But it's funny because I guess everybody's different like that. But even if you know somebody's real name, unless you have like a personal outside connection to him before, or a really intense one in wrestling, like I always think this is funny because I've been wrestling for a long time and I've had a lot of names. So people from way back in the day will call me, a couple people will still call me Freaking Deacon. And I'm like, other people are like, what is that? And
why?
Davari still calls me Festus. A lot of people call me Gallows. Not a lot of people call me Drew, but I think people just call you by the name that you are or were in the time that they knew you the best, or were hanging out with you the most, or working with you the most.
For sure.
I don't know. It's
I would say
because you get called Machine Gun a lot, but then people call you Chad. So I don't know.
Yeah, people that know me as who they are. Like we always called Roman, and then there was probably a time when we got super close in 16, 17. Probably we would drop some Joes in there.
Yeah, I think
I have never called Rollins Colby. I don't believe.
I don't think so either. I think we call him Rollins.
Yeah, I think you call someone usually what they are, and I call Sheamus Steven every now and then because it just doesn't look much like a Steven.
He doesn't look like a Steven. He looks like too big of a brute for a nice Steven to be.
No, he doesn't look like a Steven.
But you also call me Gallows.
I call you Gallows.
Yeah, most people do, I guess.
And when I was living with Rocky Romero in my broken days in 2006, I would call him JR all the time because his mom would always call him by his Christian name, I believe, is John Rivera. And then his mom, and for some reason he was called JR. Yeah, not some reason, but he was called JR. And so I ended up calling him JR all the time. But now I just call him Rock.
Rocky. How you doing?
Hell, Rocky Romero has a great story. He said Scott Norton was telling stories to all the boys one time in Japan. And he's talking and he goes, that's when I was the IWGP champion. Hell, Rock was there. and Rocky said he went, nah, Scott, I was like 15 years old, dog.
That was a different rock, dog. That was Donna Rock Morocco, dog.
Thank you for the email, good brother. Great questions. Very trippy there. Hey, another email from Oliver Page.
Hello, Oliver.
Hey, boys. I love the
boys.
Follow-up email to the balls deep email last week.
Well, here we go.
So I told Stephanie that we were mentioned on the wrestling podcast that I listened to. Her first response was, quote, "When I've heard you listening to that, they seem to spend more time talking about crypto than wrestling," unquote.
Good point.
So she is paying attention. LOL. There's a LOL. Was that a big, now capital LOL? Was that a big pop?
It's an extra LOL.
Side note, she liked wrestling. Again, guys, we're going to talk about more crypto that you were, if you don't want to start talking about wrestling yet, just give us this. Enjoy this, okay? Side note, she liked wrestling growing up, but fell off when it went behind a TV paywall here in the UK. However, she got back into it recently as AEW is on free-to-air TV here. As such, she doesn't get my joke whenever we get in the car and I say, quote, "Where to, Stephanie?"
Where to, Stephanie?
In my best Ministry of Darkness Undertaker voice. Anywho, she loved the, quote, "serial left swiper," unquote, comment, as it made her feel special that I didn't swipe right on too many people, which I didn't.
Well, that's nice.
But we quickly realized that we are each other's brand of crazy.
Well, yeah, that's part of it, pal.
Oh, great email. Below is a picture of us. Don't have matching PJs, unfortunately. If you have a P.O. box that you can pinpoint me in the right direction of, I'll send you an actual Christmas card. No, we're good.
Well,
have a great day, and any recommendations for a trading app to use?
We like e-cards, guys. E-cards are the best for us.
E-cards are the best. Oh, that's a great email, and congratulations. And I'm glad you found it.
Get a Coinbase Advance account, because I have all these other accounts, and I think if you just stick with that, you're good.
Yeah, I'm glad you found your crazy. I'd say Coinbase. I'm not a huge fan. I don't understand Robinhood as well. I know other people do. They love it.
I like Gemini because it's easy, but I think that it's smarter to do on Coinbase. That's enough.
I think I need to open up a Gemini. Yeah. And I think if you're going to do real stocks, what you need to do, invest in some real life stuff. Not saying crypto's not, but I think Fidelity is a really good one. Great one.
That's your favorite. Yep.
It's the easiest one for a guy like me. Hey, this is the subject: Loveland Frog Festival cryptid.
Okay, see, we've already discussed the Loveland Frog Festival. Let's dive in.
Oh, good brothers.
Oh, baby. Hello.
I heard you on the old podcast doing a deep dive, just not today, on the Loveland Frog Festival.
Yes.
Well, my brothers, I'll have you know, I've worked the main event of the Loveland Frog Festival in the biggest small town in America, Loveland, Ohio. Wow.
Yes.
Loveland, Ohio is right there. So are you a Cincinnati independent guy?
I would love it if the Loveland Frog Fest hosted pro wrestling, but why wouldn't it? It definitely has.
Or are you a Dayton independent wrestling guy? Because Loveland is basically Cincinnati.
Well, let's see what he says.
I've seen some things that are eerie noise this old worker can't explain. I came through the curtain and the crowd in Loveland popped uncontrollably. I sold for 30 minutes and hit my finisher and left the jabroni looking up at the lights. 1, 2, 3.
I'm starting to question the authenticity of this, but let's continue.
The Loveland Civic Center was packed to the rafters.
Oh, great.
I counted every single one of those marks, and it was at least 30,000 strong.
Oh, of course.
And the whole place came unglued as I retained the Loveland Frog Festival Heavyweight Championship.
Well, that's an honor.
Kids were crying and asking for autographs. Ring wraps. Son of a gun.
Jesus Christ.
Girls were throwing their undergarments and hotel keys at me.
Hotel keys.
All I could think about was roll out of the ring and get back to the merch table. Make some real money. Parentheses, he says, in the voice. That's when I realized that there was a large gimmick egg behind being wheeled out. And I thought, quote, the gobbledygooker is doing a run in.
Yep.
It ain't even Turkey Day, baby, unquote. Much to my surprise, a man-sized bipedal frog hatched out of an egg.
A bipedal, of course. We know what bipedals are here.
Hopped on a bicycle and headed for the ring with alarming speed. The Loveland Frog hit the squared circle in the Loveland Civic Center, went wild. I found out later that this man frog had avoided humans since the 72 incident, and this was his big comeback. I was ready to shoot on this man frog, but when I went for the double leg, like corporate Ken Shamrock.
Corporate Ken Shamrock.
This dang Loveland Frog leapfrogged over me, landed on the turnbuckle, hit a 5-star Loveland Frog splash, and hooked my leg with a froggy forearm in my face for the 1-2 free. And that, my brothers, is how I dropped the title to the Loveland Frog of the Loveland Festival. Booker still owes me money, too, in the voice. I accept all forms of crypto, a fellow fall down man. Well, thank you, fellow frog down.
That was a hilariously stupid email. I love it.
Yeah. Listen, that was funny to like 3 people. All right.
That's the thing, guys. You can't.
The person that wrote the email, Gallows, and kind of me. Question and answers. Gentlemen, what's up?
Hello, brother.
Reggae Dad here again. The last time I asked you a question, you guys asked me a question. So here's your answer.
Please.
What's a guan? It's Jamaican for what's going on. Oh. Okay. What's guan? What's a guan?
What's a guan?
Or even WTF if you hit it hard enough. A guan.
A guan.
After years of traveling with the Rastafarians, I still utilize some of the verbiage.
Oh, this is the guy who was in the traveling band. I remember him. Yep.
Quick question. If my back's against the bricks and the devil's in my 6, is the devil in those damn bricks? It's more of an existential question. Existential, is that the right word?
Existential
question.
There you go.
So don't think on it too hard. Lastly, all I want for the holidays is for KA and Uncle AJ to come off the IR at the same time and reform the club with LG. And the mission is reclaiming all former members of the Biz Cliz. First, poach Finn from the Judgment Day, then pry Tama and Tongaloa away from the bloodline. And who knows, maybe even snag Cody Rhodes. It'll be 2 sweet skis all around, riding that rocket ship right back to the main event where the boys belong, talking shop for life, Reggae Dad. Listen, that's the thing. If you're the booker, all that's happening, brother.
Reggae Dad, I nominate you for Booker of the Year.
Brother. Yeah. Again, guys, that's a lot of the things that's always part of the problem. Why aren't the good brothers doing something? Listen, we don't write the show, guys.
No, we're not writing it currently, that's for sure. But that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just the way it is. You know,
the way it is, baby.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a massive fan of. It's hard. Like me and Guy, it's fun to do fantasy booking, but we like to sit and fantasy book about like what we want to be doing. That would be more fun. I don't really find fantasy booking who's going to go do this or that much fun because it doesn't amount to anything. What's it? Is it really fun if you know it's never going to happen?
Let's keep the negativity out of talking shit.
No, that's not negativity. I'm talking about like if you say if you want Cody Rhodes to beat Edge, and then you want that to happen at WrestleMania, that's going to be the thing. And then the next person goes, well, I don't think that should really be. It should be Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. And then and as a listener, I'm going, none of it's happening. It doesn't matter what you guys are talking about. You guys sound like idiots. Stop.
Well, it's the same reason you don't like to watch scripted television, fictitious television.
Exactly.
Or read a fictional book because you don't like to suspend your disbelief. You like to live in the real world. I've learned this about you over the years.
Enough of the fantasy booking. If you want a fantasy book, go to watch the show. Watch all of Monday Night Raw, and then fantasy book what you'd like to see out of what you just at least watched on Monday Night Raw.
What you'd like to see next week or leading into the pay-per-view. Yeah. Is that your thought process on this?
Perfect. And then if you don't see that and you see it go somewhere, you see that your vision win a different vision. Now you
complain about it on Twitter.
Yeah. Now you got to understand, oh, maybe I don't write this show. I should just stop fantasy booking. It's just boring. It's stupid. It's pointless. All right, from
another Talking Shop exclusive, Machine Gun KA hates fantasy booking.
It's just the most pointless thing because you ain't in charge. It ain't happening enough. Shout out for this is a good friend of ours here, Emerson Blake. What's up, Hoops?
Good morning.
I thought I'd share a picture of the first time I ever met the greatest tag team in the world in Nashville. I wanted to give you boys a shout out for always being so cool to me. I'll never forget you guys following me on X and Karl reaching out to send me a very special gift. I hope you boys are doing well and that your families have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. What a great brother.
Thanks, Emerson. Merry Christmas to you, pal.
I'm going to forward you this email. I believe this looks like we're at I'll have the team forward this to you here.
Yeah, get the team on it if you would.
It looks like we were having ourselves
a
splendid time with our good friend Emerson.
Our friend Emerson, that makes sense.
He's a good guy.
He's a very good guy.
The Ozark Howler Part 2.
Ooh, now we're talking.
Hey, good brothers. First, I want to apologize to the machine gun for misspelling bipedal in my last email.
We're podcasting consistently enough that I can remember each email when we go back and discuss. It's great.
Yeah, the team has to refresh me like meetings for like the president and stuff like that as they run it up the ladder and running up the pole. Yeah.
Running up your pole, sure.
Yeah. I meant to double check. What was it that we said that we wanted to? We asked one guy for a guy that we call. He thinks he's the president of the United States because he's so busy. We asked him for a call, and he says something like, "Can't swing that."
Can't swing that.
Or it was like, "Can't swing 230, but I can do 315." It was like, what? Right, you run that up the ladder, are you?
Yeah.
All right. First, I want to apologize to Machine Gun for spelling bipedal on my last email. I meant to double check everything, but my dog grabbed my phone and managed to hit the send before I was able to get it back.
Yeah, never.
So much for a man's best friend. Am I right? And don't get me started on dogs, man. Anyways, since this is my favorite cryptid / fitness / crypto / investment / twice weekly / balls deep Billy podcast.
Notice he put no wrestling in
parentheses. You'll get to wrestling too, just not today.
Oh, yeah, not today.
I wanted to ask for some insight. I recently shared shaving my own head, and I'm curious how long it took the good brothers to get used to it. I'm a couple of days in, and I still feel like giving the stranger in the mirror I see the first thing in the morning a karate chop sandwich for entering my home. Yours truly, Richard Dick Bender.
Well, Dick Bender. The thing is,
hello, Dick.
The thing is, Dick.
I always wondered why a band's name was Richard and it was shortened as Dick.
I told you this. This is I mean, no one remembers it, but that was the greatest prank call of my youth. Was there was a guy in the middle of this is dating you. It's the late 90s growing up in the Yellow Pages, and you go to the towing section, and there's Richard Hair Towing. So you call him up, and he goes, Hair Towing, and you go, is this Dick Hair?
Well, hold on. You did that, of course.
Of course.
So naturally.
All the time.
But wouldn't short for Richard be Rich?
Well, you would think that. Somehow it became Dick.
I really don't understand it. So when did you first shave your head? You've been bald for a long time.
I've been bald forever, but I mean, I was bald, and then when I was trying to get looked at by WWE and I remember, I guess it was 2004 when I went as an extra, and Johnny A said, "We got too many guys with bald heads. You have to grow that hair in." And I go, "I mean, sir, I don't. It won't really grow in. That's kind of why it's shaved." And he's like, "Well, next time I see you, I want it grown in." So I started growing it in, and one thing led to another. And then the next time I saw him, like, how do you not know when you're 20 years old they're ribbing you? He like touched the little peach fuzz on the side of my head and goes, "Oh, that looks really great. It's coming in nice." And I mean, it's not. I look like George Costanza, but 6'6" or whatever. So then after I got done doing the Festus gimmick, I was like, thank God I can shave my head. And I remember they were like, just use clippers. Don't bick it. So I used clippers for 1 week, and then I started bicking it. Because I mean, if you're just using clippers on a bald head, you can still see as we call it, the grandpa shadow.
Yeah, I was playing baseball in the yard with the kids, and the wife sent a picture of me playing with the kids in the yard from way up from my 8th story in my house, from like way up high. So I was way high up
in the high rise section.
And all I saw was that I hadn't shaved my head in a couple of days. And I went, I look like I got the grandpa hair rocking.
I know, it's the worst, isn't it?
I had good hair until about 24 or 25. And then I started growing it out. And then I thought, well, this doesn't look good. I got to try it. And then I was like, well, let me try to fade it up first. And so I was in Santa Monica, California, in Los Angeles with Alex Kozlov.
So did you fade your hair yourself?
No, I would have a barb. I mean, I would just, I didn't have I would go to Quick Cuts or whatever it's called.
Right. Yeah. Jerry's Hair, whatever.
Yeah, they just were terrible. And it would never make me, I wish I had
welcome to Jerry's Hair. How about a fade up?
I wasn't famous then. No one wanted to cut my hair.
No one wants to cut unfamous people's hair.
Yeah, now everyone's dying to clip my beard for free, and I'm like, I can do my own beard. But the
oh Jesus.
But I grew my hair out, and I go, my hair looks stupid. And so Alex Kozlov, we're two broke men sitting in the Santa Monica dojo on a Saturday night. He said, "I can do your hair, bro." Alex Kozlov from
God, I was hoping
from New Japan and Mexico fame. He goes, I can do your hair, bro.
I can cut your hair.
I could cut your hair, bro. He goes to cut it and he like messes it up. And I go, you got to be kidding me. This is terrible. He goes, bro, you might as well just shave it now, bro.
I don't need to go to that.
And then we shaved my head and it never came back. And I just went ahead and bicked it, and I've bicked it forever since then.
Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Who knows?
How long did it take you to get used to it? You're just used to it. It's just life now, isn't it?
I was dying for it because I had shaved it because I knew what was coming. So then when I had to grow it back, I spent like, I don't know, maybe, from 04 to 09, like, why do I have to look like this? So I couldn't wait to shave it again. I was used to it immediately and happy because then I could reduce my hat collection. There was a time when I had more beanies and bandanas than any man alive.
I would definitely grow some facial hair. Helps you feel.
You gotta have facial hair with
helps you unless you have the greatest jawline of all time ever.
Yeah, unless you're Kurt Angle in the year 2000, you need to have a little beard.
Yeah, have a little beard. Help you. Try to shape it all in there, but once you get used to it, you're good to go.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, Hoots, creepy Ouija board story. Now we're talking.
Oh, geez. We don't like these Ouija boards.
We played the Ouija board WrestleMania weekend of 2018 in New York, and it was beyond trippy. It's on YouTube. Look it up. It's on the WWE YouTube. We went and did a Ouija board because they made us do the Ouija board.
Well, it was just the thing they were filming that day, but we didn't, they didn't tell us there was going to be actual spirits involved.
Yeah, we weren't, we weren't dying to do it, but it was an appearance we kind of had to do. And then it was just like, the Ouija board was moving, and no one there was moving it. It was trippy.
Yeah, totally.
Karl Hansen. Hi, Hoots. Big fan of the podcast, both the degenerate kind and the repentant versions.
Wonderful.
Before I get into this ghost story, man, let me start off by thanking the Machine Gun for the free dieting advice. Well, you're welcome.
Thanks, Machine Gun.
I've been following his intermittent fasting plan and have lost 20 pounds in 4 weeks. No exercise, just fasting. Thanks for that.
There's the proof.
Exactly. Thank you. If you truly do that, a quick refresher, you wake up at 6 a.m. at 2 p.m., have a meal. All right. One cheeseburger.
Boy.
Wait till 6 p.m. At 6 p.m., have yourself a nice steak and a baked potato or a sweet potato. Vegetables. Zero snacking in between. A big steak, too, with butter on it. And then right before bed, have a banana with like a scoop of peanut butter. A scoop. If you're feeling froggy, maybe 2, but don't do 3, darn it.
If you're feeling froggy, leap on over.
Zero snacks in between there. I promise you, you will lose weight.
Beautiful.
Years ago, a few of my mates decided to do a Ouija board one day. Can't remember why, but that doesn't matter. We went around my friend's house to do it in his garage. His house was a new build, no more than 10 years old. So it wasn't a typical creepy setting for a spooky story. We set it up with all the letters of the alphabet in a circle and an upside down glass in the middle. We all put the tips of both of our index.
I was wondering where this was headed. That's a different kind of game.
Oh, the 10 of us sat around and put our tips on it.
Jesus Christ.
We all put the tips of both of our index fingers on the glass. So they all stood around and they put their index fingers on glass. Then it asked if there was anyone there. After a while, there was a slight movement in the glass.
Ooh.
We all shit our pants.
and took our like a good non-pre-screened email
and took our fingers off, looking around the group suspicious that everyone was just putting it on as a rib.
That's the first thing you say. Who's doing that, right? That's what happened with us.
We eventually tried again, and the spirit quickly came back through. We asked for its name and spelt out Christopher Thompson. I got chills just now.
Yeah, I don't know about this. It's too early in the morning, too dark.
A name that has stuck with me to this day. It's also a stupidly long name for a ghost.
So it must be true. His name wasn't Jay Bird. It was Christopher Thompson.
It's awful. I got chills right now. Weird. It's also a stupidly long name for a ghost to spell out one letter at a time. We asked the spirit if I knew anyone in the room, and it said it knew my mate, Danny.
Oh, geez.
Saying he knew him through his stepdad after we asked the connection, as Danny didn't recognize the name. Danny obviously shit his pants for a second time at this point.
Danny's got 2 loads of shit in his pants at this point in the game. We're early on.
Then one of our other friends asked the spirit, "Are you homosexual?"
What?
Bear in mind, we're probably 14 or 15 years old. So this was the extent of our humor at the time. The glass then changed from slowly moving to each letter to quickly flying around the table to spell out, quote, "no jokes," unquote. Then jumped up to leave the table around an inch and fall on its side. We all looked at our friend who asked the question as if it to say, "Don't piss this thing off. We don't want to be haunted for the rest of our lives." Okay, now I understand that. Wow.
Well, that would be good. Yeah.
That's trippy. That's these Ouija boards, guys, are
spiritual aggression. I don't think you need to wake some of this stuff up, guys.
These things are legit here.
I think we leave them lay. Let them rest in peace, as they say.
I'm telling you, we picked the glass up, apologized, and asked it a few more questions. We found out that he had died in a car crash a couple of years previously. He then asked if he wanted us to break the glass once we were done. We had heard that this was important to let the spirit free afterwards and not have it flowing and following you around. Sounded like bullcrap, but we weren't taking any chances after the joke. He also said yes, so we did. We went back to Danny's house and asked his stepdad if he knew of a Christopher Thompson. We didn't say anything about the Ouija board at this point. He said that he knew of him through working in the Navy and that he was meant to interview him for a job a few years ago, but he died in a car crash on the way there.
Holy shit.
This isn't a story I tell very often, as people think I'm making it up or that the other guys were just moving the glass and taking the piss. But I know for a fact that you cannot move a glass around using only the tips of your index fingers, let alone moving it quickly and making it jump off the table. But I thought I'd tell this story here, as you seem like believers, or at least the big LG does.
There you go.
I hope you're both doing good and killing it in the stock market. All the best for Christmas and the new year. Godspeed. So he had a follow-up email. We eventually tried it again. The spirit quickly came back through.
Oof.
See, no.
Maybe let sleeping dogs.
We'll leave it at that one. So that's creepy. So legit Ouija boards.
I think it's a no-go. You don't want to invite something into your life that you don't want to be there. Let's just leave the Ouija boards alone, guys. That is super trippy. It's super weird. And so I thought they broke the glass. Did they buy a new Ouija board to try this again?
That's trippy because
I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't make a joke at a potential spirit either, I don't think.
Yeah, and when we were in there, I believe that we were talking to some spirit that had died in a fire, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can watch, like, literally, you can go to YouTube, find that.
Weird.
Look up Good Brothers Ouija board WWE or something. It comes right up.
Yeah.
I know we went and did that that hospital thing with
that
shots.
sanatorium thing, and I hate that story.
Yep.
That was a bad.
But
day.
we were explaining to Shotzi and that we had Scarlett that we did the Ouija board, and they were like tripping out because they love those spirits and stuff like that and things like that. Scary. What an email.
Yeah. Intense, brother.
Talking shop, goodbrothers@gmail.com. What's going on, Uncle Karl and Uncle Luke?
Hey, baby.
It's 3/4 pumped. Shotgun Billy Aragon. Just wanted to apologize for getting you guys caught up in all the Hat Man stuff. I also started eating healthier.
Good
so
job.
I can get some nice abs like Uncle Karl, and I'm pretty interested in them Zevia sodas.
Good job, 3/4 shot.
I hope you guys are doing good and all the little ones are growing up big and healthy. P.S. I appreciate all the work you guys have been doing on the podcast. I know you guys don't have a lot of time, but it's a blessing for all of us fans to hear from you weekly. Well, that's very nice. Thank you.
Well, we love it.
Like I said, we are very passionate about radio or podcasting or whatever it is, and just enjoy these times right now because we're going to be on the radio probably every day, sometimes at some point in our career.
We will, yeah.
It'll be a 5, 6, 7 day a week thing, and it's going to probably be talking wrestling, and we're going to be insane. So be ready.
Well, yeah, we'll be the most insane. We can promise you that.
I have to read this one. It's the subject, the Honky Tonk Man, as we have to wind down and wake the kids up here.
Well, this is a good end because I love the Honky Tonk Man.
Kevin Wolf, Honky Tonk Man.
Hell yeah.
Good morning, 5 a.m. Hoots. Exactly. It is early.
Hey, brother.
So happy you sober brothers are back dealing out pods. Machine Gun, get well soon, good brother. And I hope your family is doing well. Big LG, hope your boys and wife are just doing great.
Thanks, brother.
I'm writing to talk about an episode of Talk is Jericho that you fellas were on.
Is Jericho.
Chatting about the Honky Tonk Man at a WrestleMania after party.
Yeah.
LG said that he and Kurt Hawkins bookended the legendary brother.
Yep, quote.
And you boys telling the story of Honky's reaction to LG complimenting the spread WWE put out had me pissing myself laughing.
It's all true.
Wondering if you guys had any other interactions with Honky Tonk Man or any other legends with similar stories. Love the pod. Never miss them. Stay well and have a mother of all comebacks. And Karl, I hope you get to enjoy some nice Olivia cigars while on the comeback trail. Brother me softly, Kevin W. from New Jersey. LG, I never had any run-ins with the Jersey Devils. Sorry, my man.
Well, Kevin, that was a great email. It's a great question. We had another friend of the podcast ask us a legend question that he actually emailed that we haven't got to. Yesterday, we were talking about it. But we do have another hilarious Honky Tonk Man. The Reader's Digest version of the story that he's referencing, for those who don't know, was Hawkins and I, our first WrestleMania. It's like 2008. The legends are there. I'll be quick. So they have this nice after party. And they literally had like a sushi tower to the ceiling, all this great food, open bar. So we see Honky Tonk Man, and he's kind of sitting alone. And I don't know if he's had a few snifters or what, but I don't know Honky Tonk Man yet.
You just know of him.
I'd been on some indie shows with him, and I knew that there were times when he was in a good mood and times when he was in a bad mood. And I'd seen some of his shoot interviews, and Hawkins and I both loved it. So we said, there's Honky. We better bookend him. So we both get a plate and a drink, and we sit down. And my opener was, hello, sir. What a wonderful spread they have here for us today, huh? He looked around. He goes, wonderful spread. It's coming out of your check, you fucking mark. And screamed that in my face. And we've laughed about it for so many years. And then he's heard me retell the story, and he laughs about it too. The Honky Tonk Man's a big friend of the Good Brothers, but I think Machine Gun has to tell this because he hadn't been around Honky Tonk Man much. So we finish up in Japan. We do our last independent appearance. We want to do this thing in Milwaukee for Brew City Wrestling. And those are good guys out there. We had a lot of fun going. Matt Hardy's on the show. The Honky Tonk Man's on the show. It's our last independent before we make our 2016 WWE debut. So I'll let you pick it up from there. I've told Honky Tonk Man stories for years, and this is a hilarious one.
Yeah. Well, he's the legendary Honky Tonk. I heard so much about him. And LG would in Japan, we would sit in the in the hotel room in Tokyo or wherever we were, and we'd have some drinks and he'd pop on Honky Tonk shoot interviews.
Play some Honky Tonk, just cussing and
just,
doing Honky Tonk Man.
They're just telling honky stories. So I thought and then I knew Honky Tonk Man was going to be there. So I thought Honky Tonk wasn't going to be. I didn't realize that he was such a great worker. I thought the Honky Tonk Man was going to be stumbling all over his words, falling over, hammered, not being able to walk in drunk.
Right.
Dude, you can't talk to you can't say he's not one of the greatest absolute workers on the planet.
He's a consummate worker, dude. He comes from that era. He makes you think one thing, and he knows what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think he even drinks. I mean, if he does, he does it.
I don't even know. Yeah,
he does it peacefully and quietly, and he didn't do any of it around us. And he was he was dressed. He was dressed to the nines. He looked great. He looked great. His hair was slicked back, and I thought he was.
He had a pink Cadillac. I got you.
He had a pink Cadillac as he pulled up, but LG's talking to him, and they're having a normal conversation, which I didn't realize that it was gonna. He was so businesslike.
You thought he'd be like in shoot interview, brother. Hey, mother.
Yeah. I walked up over there to introduce myself to him, and he looked me up and down and continued talking to Gallows, and he didn't put me over at all, though. And then Gallows goes, "This is my partner. We just signed, right?
Yeah, we had just signed to go back. Yeah."
So he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "This is my partner. We're going. He's my
because Honky's so on point. He searched me out and he goes, "Gallows, you going back?" And I said, "Yeah." And we were standing there talking about it, and then so here we go.
He goes, "This is my partner."
Yeah.
We're going back together. He goes, "Oh, you're going to New York. You're going to New York too."
He loved you then.
Oh yeah, he did. And he started looking at us. He started talking to. He goes, "I'll tell you what." There's so many zingers in there, though. He goes,
you got to do it justice, right?
Yeah. He goes, "What you guys need to do is you got to stack every single cent you're going to make from New York up there. That's where you can make all your money." He's like, look at this place. Look at this room. Look at this. Look at these guys in here. Look at this. Look at that guy right there. There's a guy
literally pointing people out that are in tights walking around.
That son of a bitch right there ain't ever going to be in no New York. Look at that. I don't think we've ever even told that part. Look at this. Because I'm gonna tell you this much. Who y'all? And he's pulled us aside and he's just talking to us now. And he goes, "Well, who y'all working tonight?" And I said somebody, whoever it was, and they seemed like nice guys, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. And he goes, "I'll tell you this much. I'm gonna be watching your match, and if I see you take even one bump, I'll know you're the biggest mark I ever met." I said, "Honky, teach me the way, brother." He's like, if I was you, I'm taking the heat, brother. I am selling, looking at him, and I'm barely selling. I'm looking at it. I ain't gonna turn around, let him hit me in the back of the neck, and go, "Whoops, broke your neck." Anyways, have a great day. Bye.
They're all great points.
I mean, but he said 10 or 15, 20 things I'd have to sit and think about before I get to get, because he just
so many tidbits of wisdom.
He just kept shooting out zingers, and I remember one of the guys' names that I wrestled, but I'm not going to say it. It was like, I said what his name was, and then Honky changed his name to like something
funny.
Yeah. Let's just say his name was Jumpin' John. He's like, "Well, Jumpin' John, he's going to be laying down Larry if you're the one," or whatever. Like something like it was something like that. Honky Tonk, and he was so he was saying funny zingers, but then he was actually talking very, very, very articulate and businesslike, and I was like, man, you actually could learn a lot with sitting down and talking to Honky Tonk.
You can learn a lot. He got it, yeah, for sure, man.
Because people think you see his gimmick and he's dancing and he's walking and he was the greatest Intercontinental champion of all time, right?
Yeah.
Then you see his YouTube stuff where he's doing shoot interviews, making people like he's just talking snap,
saying terrible stuff, but he's just getting headlines.
But all he's doing is working. It's weird because it's like when we said we didn't turn on the lights for unless there's 5,000 people in front of us, and everyone took it serious.
And people took it serious and got mad about it. But yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
Because you forget what we are at the heart.
Shh. One time in between runs, I heard him say something that made a lot of sense, and it was funny, braggadocious, and purposefully so. But he was looking around at a room of indie guys and WWE, WCW, the time ECW, and he goes, "Look at this! Look at this room! Look at this room! Not one of these guys is going to walk out there and they're going to know who they are. But look at me! Look at me! I've been running this gimmick for 12 years with no TV behind me. What's that say about me? They all know who I am." And he was right.
So that's such a good point. Where's Bitcoin at today, LG?
Oh, I woke up to things being down. It was 104 last I checked. We hit 108 yesterday. Who knows? Maybe it'll dip and we can buy some today, which would be great because we don't want to buy the high. We want to buy the dip. We want to buy the low. It is 104,732 right now. So
get ready.
Watch it today, guys. When the dip comes, buy some. Put $20 on it. Put $20,000 on it. Whatever you can do.
Or you can be like Michael Saylor and just buy it and just keep buying it and always buy it at the top.
You could just be like Michael Saylor and be the richest man in the world and be the second highest Bitcoin. I don't think he's second, but I mean, it's like Satoshi and then he's in the top 5 or something now. Well, maybe he is higher now because they just bought a shit ton more, I believe.
If you do zero investing, just start doing investing. Just invest a little bit.
Invest a little bit.
Look it up. What do I do? How do I do it? How do I invest in VOO? And do it right there. Get started.
The health insurance industry is down almost 50%. I was looking at health insurance industry ETFs. I wonder if they're a buy or not. We'll maybe talk about it someday. Maybe we won't.
No, maybe not. Hope say, was SmackDown good? You're busy? Oh, you're not there. You're in Key West.
What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, no, double taping last week. I'm in Key West. I got to get out here and do a little snorkeling.
Yeah. Go drink some Bloody Marys and then rock the baby to sleep. Man.
I'm going to go drink some Bloody Marys, go snorkeling, and then hold the baby. It's going to be great.
Yeah. All right, guy. Hey, talking shop, goodbrothers@gmail.com. We'll see you Thursday with a deep dive on our year one in WWE for your Christmas special. Or maybe
on our night one. All right, guys.
Yeah. Night one. Have happy holidays. Merry Christmas. If you never hear from us again.
Yeah. Have a good life. We love you.
Have a good life.
If XRP hits 100 grand, that's it. See you guys.
If XRP hits $10, I'm out.